Aaron and Natasha. News and traffic. Mulcair and many. It's all here in one big show. Montreal Now on News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
All right, let's get you caught up with Tom Mulcair, talk about Katie Telford and a whole lot more. Our feature brought to you by Guaranteed Industries, reminding you, good time to switch over from heating to cooling. Easy to do, too. Just make a phone call, 514-342-3400. That's Guaranteed Industries, or online, guaranteedindustries.com. So, Tom, we'll start with Katie Telford. I have a special bonus here because I'm reading, sort of the reviews of her testimony today, one of which says, her testimony itself inclines suspicion. I thought this fit perfectly then.
Suspicion torments my heart. Suspicion keeps us apart.
What do you think, Tom?
Well, first of all, good call on the music.
Thank you.
Second of all, I couldn't agree more with the quote. And that's my perception as well. We had talked about her a couple of times. She's super clever, but there is such thing as being too clever by half. Sitting there, being there for a couple of hours, refusing to answer anything, saying, oh, gee whiz, I really wish I could because I care so much about Parliament, but I can't tell you anything because I have all these secrets that I can't share with anybody. So it really grew quite cloying and tiresome by the end of it all. The Conservatives, right on cue, showed up. They were very well prepared because they had read newspapers. So, of course, they were convinced that nobody in the Prime Minister's office reads newspapers, so she wouldn't be prepared for their Perry Mason questions. It was laughable. There was one woman on the Conservative side who was quite solid, Rachel Thompson, and Rachel Blaney on the NDP side, very down to earth, saying, why are you still stalling on the Commission of Inquiry? We all know that a full Commission of Inquiry is what's needed here. So Katie Telford won the day in the sense that she gave nothing up. I mean, she's the person who trained Justin Trudeau in the fine art of not answering questions, so she put on a master class this afternoon. So that's fine. But what's left is the beginning of your statement, the quote that you had there, Aaron. The overarching impression is this is a cover-up. They have something to hide. They don't want this thing to be examined properly because they knew what was going on. They did nothing about it. And the impression that's left to a lot of people, including me, is they knew that this Chinese government interference in our elections was going to hurt the Conservatives more than them, and they let it slide.
So here's a little clip of Katie Telford. Maybe this will give you an idea of what it was like all afternoon.
Yeah.
So a couple of things, Madam Chair, is one, everything the Prime Minister receives, he spends a lot of time with, and he most definitely reads. So I can confirm that if they are documents that he received, he absolutely read them. Second, that he's briefed on matters of foreign interference and matters of election foreign interference as per the documents you have received on a regular and ongoing basis. And third, on the specifics of what you were referencing there, I can't get into, unfortunately, in this public setting, what was or wasn't briefed on in the level of specificity you'd like.
That's right.
She really wanted to, but she couldn't.
Tom.
Yeah, but she couldn't.
I'm finding this amusing. I mean, but that literally is the position she's in. She has to respect the law. She can't reveal it. No? Or you feel like she was bending it a bit?
What are you, her handler?
Oh, it's total malarkey. She could have given much more information than what she gave there, and that's what was demonstrated to the chair, Bardish Chagger, and at one point, the same Conservative that I referenced, Rachel Thomas, lifted off her page and just went, spontaneously to the chair, and she said, "Hold on, it's not true that she can't give us these answers because we're asking the type of thing that she's allowed to tell us, and we know that she's allowed to do that because the experts who were here from the security services said, yes, of course you can answer about this, this, and this." At which point she was shut down by the Liberal chair of the committee, Bardish Chagger. So it was a stonewalling within a cover-up, within an attempt to make sure that this thing gets shut down, constantly referencing David Johnston. He's going to get to us sometimes, and, towards the end of May, let us know, and we'll follow his recommendations. But, of course, they forget to mention, because they know, that part of what they asked David Johnston to do is to keep looking at this until Halloween. That means that even if he says there's going to be a commission of inquiry, Trudeau's going to keep trying to stall the whole thing, and all the while pleading, we can't answer, but it's for your own good.
Okay, so I'm just wondering here. So when we're saying this quote that it that Telford's testimony incites suspicion, we're quoting Conservative MP Michael Cooper, and I'm thinking, did the Conservatives get what they wanted out of this ultimately?
No,
then
they were just abysmal, exactly as predicted, because you go into something like this, you have to have something to hang your hat on. So, well, did you know that the Globe and Mail wrote this on such and such a day in March? Do you remember when Global Television had this on the air? Oh, wow, real scoop, Les hirondelles volent à l'envers. I mean, really, this is all of the research that you've done is to read them the newspaper. That's the extent. Oppo research, because believe it or not, I spent a lot more time in my political career in opposition than in government. And Oppo research is absolutely a skill that has to be developed. It's not rhetoric. It's not rending your garments. It's doing a deep dive in the library, coming up with something that nobody else has got, catching them off guard with something, proving that what she just said about what she's not allowed to tell you is absolutely false with a good clip and a quote, the way Rachel Thomas tried to do. But Cooper today, he's the same guy who let Telford off the hook the last time. And frankly, I hope that they're doing focus groups, because my suspicion is that the average Canadian looking at Michael Cooper and Pierre Poilievre are saying, really, well, look, if your grandfather left you some stock in Brill cream, maybe that's helpful for Canadians. But nobody else in Canada is going to want to go down that path.
Gotta love that dated reference. That's excellent.
I love it, the Brill cream. But I got to tell you, I'm looking at someone like Katie Telford, though, and going, why is she behind the scenes and not in front of, seems to me she'd be front and center.
Natasha thinks she should be Prime Minister, Tom.
She's a brilliant organizer. She's a brilliant operator. And she just, she seems to be, she's simply the best I've seen in the business. I mean, that might sound like a contradiction to somebody who just said how frustrating it was to see her go, but that's how good she is, right? She gets through these 2 hours. But I think she might have pushed it a bit too far today, because I agree, and even though it's Cooper's quote, I'm still going to agree with the overarching impression that's left is, come on, really? You're not allowed to answer anything, even as to whether or not Trudeau saw this text that's addressed to him and that could be very damning for him. So I think that she saved the day for herself. But I think that the overall arching impression for the average Canadian is these guys got something to hide.
So let me move on to the Trudeau Foundation. I thought I saw a story break this afternoon, which now says they're recommending the Auditor General look into this. This is a pretty good deal, and sending some money back too, huh?
Yeah, but so another Johnson, not David Johnston, but a fellow named Ted Johnson, who's the head of the foundation now, saying that he's inviting in the Auditor General of Canada, Karen Hogan, Quebecer, to look at the foundation. But, I can't figure out what jurisdiction she would have over this foundation. Yes, there was a lot of seed money from the federal government, $125 million that went into this thing, but I don't see where the Auditor General of Canada gets jurisdiction to actually move on this.
So they're obviously doing this because it's the right thing to do. We already found out earlier in the week, right, that they were going to investigate themselves. That kind of blew this back onto the front page. So this just seems to be the next step in the process.
Yes, the first part, you're completely right. Oh no, we're going to have an outside investigation. Really? By whom? Well, by people we've just invited to investigate us. So this is what's happening with this whole thing on Chinese interventions and interference. Trudeau's trying to keep a lid on it because there's stuff in there that is very damaging to him. That's an answer that you got, Aaron, out of Bob Fife, the lead author of today's article on the Auditor General and the lead author all along of the major stories in the Globe and Mail on this. The reason that there's stonewalling and stalling and covering up is because there's stuff in there that's going to hurt the Liberals.
All right. Anything else, Natasha?
No, I'm processing.
Have a good weekend, guys.
Hey, listen,
you too. Isn't it beautiful?
Does Katie Telford have a future in politics outside of, when Justin Trudeau, if she should decide not to run, what happens to Katie Telford?
I think she goes and becomes a member of the board of directors of 3 of Canada's leading companies and makes 10 times what she's making now.
There you go. All right. We'll be proud of her then, Natasha.
For sure.
Tom, you have a good weekend.
You too.